I know there are kids that are just naturally stubborn, but according to my own research, a child comes as empty as a flash or a blank CD. What you put in them is what will be ringing. If you've put reggae music in there and you put your flash, you connect it to the radio. Radio set, yeah. The reggae music will play. You cannot find Kalindula in there because you didn't put Kalindula music. That's exactly the thing with a child. If you teach your child good morals, they will bring them back to society. Of course, like I'm from saying, there are children that are stubborn naturally, and then for the virtue that they mingle with other people out there at school, at church and whatnot, they may be different somehow, somewhere, but 95% of a child should be of what you teach them, should be of what they've learned from their parents home. It is your duty as a mother, it is your duty as a father to constantly check on your children's behavior day in, day out. You need to be very patient when raising a child. It's like cooking beans. No matter how much water you're going to put, beans will never be cooked instantly. It takes time, bit by bit. So you're better off putting water bit by bit until, with patience, until you get ready, and then you serve it out for a meal. The same applies to a child. No matter how many lessons you're going to teach a child at once, they will not grab it. At every stage, tell a child what they deserve to hear. Sunny, my daughter, at this level, you need to learn how to say thank you when somebody gives you something. You need to learn how to pray every morning. When you wake up, when you reach at school, we teach these children. It's very difficult for some people to even pray when they are served a meal. And it's not intentional. They were not taught, They find it difficult to pray. Not because they want. They were not taught by their parents. They find it easy and it's normal to them to insult anyhow, because they've been insulting at home and none of their parents corrected them and told them to say this is not right. They always smiled at them and said this is how they are. This one is very difficult. He doesn't like sharing. And then when he grows, he meets up people in an organization or maybe neighbors in the neighborhood. That's somebody who is now an adult. They still don't know how to share. It will be very difficult still. So teach your children today what you want them to become. Even in your absence, what your children will showcase are your morals. No wonder in Africa, when a child is not doing well, they blame the mother. Why? I know a mother is not always with their child everywhere, but they play a very big role. They know to say, a mother or a parent, so to say, constantly checks up on the child's behavior. So if the behavior is not appropriate, control the child in a nice way, in a calm voice. It's not good when you're training children to insult them. Instead, they are not going to get what you want to tell them now. They will now pick the pain of them being insulted, and then they'll say, no, I'm even actually not going to do what my mother is telling me to do, because she thinks by insulting me, I'll change and I'll get scared of her and everything. You're better off telling your child with a calm voice, nicely. Even when a child has done something wrong, you say, no, Sunny, my princess, this is not how you do it. Next time if I hear you doing this, I'm either going to slap you, I'm going to whip you. And don't be fond of whipping your children. Whipping of your children every day doesn't make them to be scared of you. No, if that's what you think. It's like when you keep on taking painkillers, same type of painkillers, the body becomes resistant. The exactly thing goes to the children. You whipping them every day, will actually make them to be very stubborn. They're actually not going to be getting what you be saying. They will be very, very stubborn. Use a very nice and calm voice. But of course, your facial expression should tell to say, here what my mother is trying to say is so serious, because she's not even smiling on her mouth. On her face. But don't insult. Giving your children names, other names that you didn't give them upon birth, it's not good. Calling your children by names, no. It's not right. Learn to be calm. Children are not very, difficult to raise and to impress. When you knock off, get them a bubble gum. Impress your children, give them that exploration of life. It's Christmas, a small package for them. Hey, little boys and girls, here is your gift. Here is your gift for Christmas. You reach home, give your child a hug, ask them how the day was, how school was. Be your children's best friend. Excuse me. Be your children's best friend. And they'll find it very easy to open up to you. Even when somebody's, abusing them, it will be easy for them to open up and say, Mom, Dad, this is what is happening. And like the moment they come to you, Mommy, maybe Uncle was touching me, before they can even finish, you're already insulting, you're already, raising your voice. A child gets scared. By the time you're coming to realize, a child would have been destroyed. A child would have been destroyed. And it will not be good. You can't fix anything. When the milk is spilled, you just mop. You can't pick it. So that's the exactly point I'm trying to say. Be your children's best friend. Let them open up to you. Be male or female children. Let them all open up to you. Let them get the first. Be your first children's lover. Hug them, pray with them, eat with them. It feels nice. You can imagine a child is now almost clocking maybe 15 years. And they've never been hugged by their parent, It's not fair. And then they go out, and that's a girl child. She reaches 18 years. And then she goes out, meets this man. Then they try to hug her, bring her presents and whatnot. She'll think, oh, now this is life. Things that you would have actually been doing for a child at home and save her from being abused. Some children are abused because out there they want to experience life, some kind of life that they don't see at home. They are never told you look nice no matter how beautiful they dress from home. They are never reminded maybe to just brush their hair. Even when a child is not feeling well, you can't even wake up and say good morning. In some families, they actually don't greet each other. I've visited so many houses. In the morning, everybody wakes up, they're busy doing their own things. Nobody's greeting each other, and it would look so weird for me, because for me, even when I wake up from the same bed with my sister, we still have to say good morning to each other. We still have to say good night to each other. We still have to remind each other on how to pray. Mom taught us, and we've grown like that. Wherever I go, when I'm just eating some nice things, I would always remember of my siblings at home, my beautiful niece at home. I would know to say, oh really, my family would need this. But certain families don't have this. They don't know how to wish each other happy birthdays on their birthdays, They don't know how to wish, each other happy Christmas on Christmas Day. They don't. All the best when somebody's writing exams. It's so hard to come out of people's mouths. And you bring complications when your children grow. Because now she's having her own house. Her husband's birthday has just come. She still doesn't feel the need of telling the husband happy birthday. She still doesn't feel the need of impressing a child, maybe with a very little cake. You sing for the child happy birthday at home together as a family. You eat the cake together, prepare whatever meal you're going to manage. She still doesn't know. And those are one of the things that the husband is actually looking for. You're going to make your children suffer for sins they did not commit because of your ignorance. Parents, fellow parents, I'm talking to you. Wake up. Let's train our children in the rightful way. Every Sunday, a child already has their own program and whatnot. We haven't taught our children to say Sundays are for God. How are they going to learn? Of course, some children are sharp. They will learn out there with their friends. But they spend more time with we children, no matter how many times they can spend out there with children. But we carry the most time. We carry the most impact and time to teach our children. Let's teach our children right. Some children don't even know how to greet. A visitor comes at home, they'll just be running around, playing, doing their own things in the living room. And then, for some people who are trained and know the importance of greeting, they'll just be surprised and say, hey, what's happening here? They can't greet us. Another one passes. Until now, when you see that somebody is actually getting surprised, that's when you now want to pretend and say you haven't seen your uncle. How? They don't know those things, so don't even pretend. Don't even make your children suffer. They don't know those things. Let's learn to to train our children right. Let's train our children right. Today, you're around with your children. God forbid, I know. But time waits for nobody, and nobody knows what tomorrow has for us. Train your children in a way that even when you're not around, they'll still find it easy to live with any other person. Your children don't know how to wash plates. And then maybe you're sick. You're not feeling too well. You send them, maybe even you leave them with the neighbors. Or maybe your relative and say, please kindly take care of my children. When I get better, I'll call them back home. They'll go and find life to be very hard for them, because out there they'll be requested to wash plates. They'll be requested to do a lot of chores that they don't even do. They'll be requested to greet when people reach. They'll be requested to do all these things, little important but new and difficult things to them, because you didn't teach them. Greeting is an essential part of life. Saying thank you when somebody has done something to you, no matter how small, very important. Acknowledging you've done something wrong to somebody. I'm sorry. You've caused harm to somebody. Being polite. I'm kindly asking, can I have that cup? It's a command. Let's learn to train our children. Let's teach them about how to live in life. The little things matters. These children, Bemba say mitikula impanga. These children we're keeping today and considering to be babies, they will grow tomorrow. They will be husbands. They will be wives. These are the little things that destroy marriages today. Somebody will be caught cheating. They'll rehearse with the wife. They'll be forgiven. These little things. No, she doesn't greet me in the morning. Even when I come back, she doesn't greet me. She doesn't save me food. She doesn't bother to ask me how work was. These are the little things that have destroyed marriages. You can be given money. You can be given everything. But if there are not these little things that I'm just from mentioning, the marriage is shaken. And if we look at the root cause, where is it coming from? In the house. When these husbands and wives of today were children that were being carried, that were being taken to school, that were being fed at some point, you're seeing a child coming with this bad language. Like I said, some learn bad languages and whatnot. Maybe as far as school, maybe church. There are some children that are spoiled, yeah. And, preferences differ. So it's entertained in other houses. A child insults. Really, this child is sarcastic, and they're smiling like that. But before they actually realize that a child has already grown and they've become like that, it's now out of attitude. It's now behavior, like it's in them. So these are the things that we're actually causing. And who's causing that? We parents. A child will come back there, no, over a little thing, just because I didn't greet him when he came from work, and then he took it serious, he took it personal. Do you know how many things we go through when we go out there for work? We are insulted for no reason by our bosses, supervisors. We are criticized for no reason. I can't go to my mother's house and tell her to say, Mom, Dad, I'm being criticized at work because of ABCD. They're suspecting ABCD. Maybe they dislike me, maybe because of the way I look and whatnot. I'll go and table this with my partner. But he or she has to create that room for me. I need to be given room, okay, for me to start explaining all those things. Somebody hasn't greeted me. How am I even going to tell them how work was? So we are parents. We are at fault of whatever is happening today. When their aunt is sick, you can't release your children to go and see them. Even when they grow, it will be difficult for them to carry on with that humility, because right in the beginning you didn't teach them. Their cousin is unwell. You can't remind them to pick a call and check on their cousin. You as an aunt, you can't pick a call, check on your nephew, check on your niece who's not feeling well, check on your brother-in-law, sister in marriage. Where are your children going to learn all those things? Let's embrace that, African culture right here. We are not in US, we are in Zambia, here where we live. Together, there's one. Humility really matters. Best behavior beats professionalism, and your integrity must be standard. Parents, fellow parents, let's train our children right. Let's teach our children good morals, that even in our absence, we can send them anywhere and they'll represent us without us wondering and say, I now wonder what kind of behavior these children went to showcase. Some of you, your children, will not need professional qualifications. They'll need morals, norms to get employed. What morals are you teaching your children? What cultural standards are your children lying on? Some behaviors that we tolerate our children to carry on, especially the dress code and whatnot, these are things they just see in music videos. Even in those countries where you see those people performing that, maybe they don't even wear them because they are just in music videos. Somebody, goes to sing with a swimming costume, and then the next thing, you're tolerating your child dressing that swimming costume, maybe when they're just going to a mall for shopping or something. But when they watched that in a music video, it was near the pool, meaning maybe that artist meant to say, when going to swim and whatnot, this should be your outfit. To everything we do, let there be a limitation. The tolerance we give to our children, the treatment also we give to them, let there be a limit. Okay? A child who's maybe 12 or 10 years old tells you to say, I'm asking for transport, man, I want to go and visit my friend where they stay, and then you even release their money, they go. Are you 100% sure to say that child is going to just visit the friend and come back? A child who still goes to school, for me, I don't see the need of them having a phone, because it will make a lot of illicit things easy for them. They'll make calls anytime they want. And we can even encourage them to have relationships at a very tender age, because it will be very difficult for them. It will be very easy for them to arrange for meeting times and whatnot. In my house, no school-going child holds a phone until they clap their grade 12. That rule is standard. That's me. Yeah, in my house. I don't know what kind of rules you've mounted, but in my house, if they want to check on their friend or whatnot, my phone is always free. They can grab my phone and use it, but not them having a personal phone. No. Until somebody finishes grade 12, at least I would know to say at this point, they need phone calls for tertiary and whatnot. Tell your children the truth, like I'm just saying. Let your children be open with you. If you mean to tell them about sexual abuse, please be open. Don't hide any single thing to your child. No person is going to tell your child some, important things or aspects about life better than you. We live in a different world. I remember long ago when you've done something wrong, our parents would organize some, aunties and uncles and say, talk to these children, the behavior is A, B, C, D, and it's not according this time around, so talk to them. But this time around, as a parent, you need to be your children's first best friend. Be open with your children. Be frank with them. Tell them the truth they deserve to hear. Don't bring about short sentences like you're in an exam and then they've limited you to say one-word answers only. No. Sex before marriage is not good. Then you end there. You're giving a child half-baked information. They will not even get the point. Tell them the consequences. It can ruin your future. You can have unwanted pregnancies, early marriages. It can bring diseases, unwanted diseases to you, which would be very harmful and would disturb your entire life. Teach your children. Tell your children the truth. Don't hide them anything. Discussing about sexual things with your children is not an insult. You're actually doing them a favor. Good favor, actually. You're saving them. Because if you can't tell them, the world will tell them. And the world has no better voice, I tell you. The world has so many negative voices. So be your children's best friend. Be your children's first best friends. Let your children be open with you. Tell them. What going around with married people, it's not good. The dangers are you may be cursed. It may still bounce on you. You may have children and your children will keep on doing the same behavior. How are you going to feel? Despite that, leaving somebody crying, leaving other people, so many lives, maybe 5 lives, suffering because of you. You're cursing yourself. Tell your children the truth. Don't hide them. Some parents are so reluctant. No, I can't tell them this because at this age, no, I feel I can traumatize them and whatnot. Do you know what they do behind the back? Like I'm just telling you, children mingle with so many different people and they discuss things that you don't even know. So to protect them, tell them in advance. Okay? To be prepared is better, is to be, to be prepared is better for the future. And like you tell yourselves, and you will prepare like your farming season, it's towards farming season and then you're waiting to clear your field when the rains start raining. No, you're going to be late. Prepare yourself in advance. Prepare yourself in advance. They say prevention is better than cure. Okay? To be forewarned is to be prepared. Tell your children what they deserve to hear at every stage. This stage, okay, I can tell them about greeting people the moment they come in the house. You need to make sure everybody is saved. Whatever is there, if we have water, if we have juice, give the people that have come. Chat with them. Don't isolate yourselves from people. Life changes. Today, you're isolating yourselves from these, second class people. You only want to mingle with people of your own standard. Tomorrow it will be like this. These people you call second class will be the first class. And how are you going to knock and ask for help? Tell your children to find it easy to blend in. Be very helpful. Tolerate people and understand everybody. But of course, have limits. Teach your children right. Tell your children the truth. And you will be good parents. Of course, no man is an island. So don't expect your children to be perfect in all levels of life. Here, their behavior will be standard. Here, they'll have their own ups and downs. Of course, with time and age, they'll change. The same way the weather changes, the same way a human mindset change. Excuse me. Today, a child may not understand why you're telling them to greet every person who comes at home. In the few years later, in few years to come, they'll understand to say, oh, so greeting somebody is actually a way of telling them to say you're actually welcome. You're welcome here. Imagine I come to your house or you come to my house and I've not seen you in a long time. Then I just say, hi. Even if I wanted to stay there for a week, my friend, the following night, I'ma be leaving. Because I'm not welcome. Your greeting already told me to say, Ruth, you're not welcome to this house. The following morning, muntu wanga ni piamo. I will not even stay. I will not even have your breakfast. But if I haven't been served food, even when I reach, the way you're going to greet me with a hug, regardless of how I'm looking, you hug me. Really? You've come to visit. So how is home? We haven't seen you in a long time. Even when I planned to visit you people for 3 or 2 days, I'll extend my stay and say, I'm welcome here. And I think these people really missed me and they still want my company. Even when I haven't been given any food. We've gone to so many places, my dear. They give you food with a wrinkled face. Maybe when I was coming to eat, when I was coming to see you, I had already eaten. How do you know I had already eaten? I just passed by to say hello, to check on new people. And then you've already twisted it. Maybe she's come to ask for things. Some of us have been standing alone for so long. And when we mean to check on you, it's basically just that. You try to call somebody, they can't even pick your calls. because they think you want to get money, you want to ask for money for them. No. We just want to check on you. We just want to check on you. Please, fellow parents, let's train our children right. Life is very short and very funny. Like I'm just from telling you. Today, isolating your children from those relatives that do not have money today, but you don't know what God has planned for them tomorrow. Trust me, you would be bedridden and you would want some help. Which person are you going to look at? Those same people that you didn't teach your children to blend in with. And how are they even going to reach at the gate and knock and say, listen, this is what is happening to mom and dad, so we are here asking for your help? How are they going to do that? Please, let's train our children right. Let's tell them the truth. Tell our children the truth. Train them in a way that even in our absence, they will still represent us, and everybody will still be okay with their behavior. Where we have forgotten, we'll be reminded. A child that is not adherent makes their innocent parents get to be insulted. Fellow children also, on the other side, in order for us to respect our parents, let's be adherent. When our parents tell us to say this is not right, let's learn to get it. You know, it's now that I understand. I remember there was a part in my life when I was growing. My dad used to tell me the moment, I remember this one particular friend, I'll not mention the name. I knew her through a certain friend again. She came to visit my place for the first time. Then the moment she left, even while she was around, I could see my father's face, so angry. And then I was like, what's wrong? What have I done? Not realizing to say dad was not happy with the way my friend was looking. Me being young, I couldn't understand all those things. I was even talking to myself. I was like, what's wrong with my dad? So the moment my friend went, dad said, I should never see that friend here again. And with me, ask my friends. I would tell them, say, Mundwanga, me, my father doesn't want you. So our friendship will continue, but we'll be meeting outside our premises, not there. My father doesn't want you because I respect my parents so much. So I could sit and say, but what really is wrong with my dad? This friend of mine has never even come here. This is this is the first time I'm inviting him, and this is the first time dad is meeting him. But already he's saying, I don't want this friend. So it's now that I've grown to say, upon seeing somebody, you are able to describe 5 characters of their out of their behavior. 5 good characters. You can be able to describe, oh, this person is stingy, this person does ABCD. Just meeting somebody for the first time. Okay? So the same applies. You would send your child maybe to go out for interviews, even with best qualifications, but the way I'm going to dress, the way I'm going to carry out myself, I'm talking to elderly people, feeling as if I'm talking to my boyfriend or something, they would even say, no, there is no professionalism in this child. So basically, she's lost it. Even before I'm offered a seat, I'm already seated comfortably. I even, hold my arms, best behavior beats professionalism. So please, I beg of you, fellow parents, fellow children on the other side, let's do what is right. Especially parents, we have a very big role. Sometimes we intend to think and see as if our children are stubborn. They're not stubborn because we don't tell them the whole information. Like I'm just from telling you, a mother will just stand and say, this dress code is not good. It ends there. Tell the child to say, this dress code is not good because dress code describes you. But even when you are not what you dress, people will still take you for being like that, because dress code carries, I think, about 5%, if not 10 or 20% of your character. Yeah, so let's learn to train our children right. Tell them the truth. Don't hide them anything. Let's teach our children to pray, because nobody has ever made it on their own. We all rely upon Father God upstairs. So, God bless. One love.